Hey there, welcome back to our channel, and in case you missed it, Hillary Clinton is receiving some backlash for dismissing the concerns of the students protesting against the war in Gaza. So here's what she said. They don't know very much at all about the history of the Middle East, or frankly about history in many areas of the world, including our own country. So specifically, Clinton pointed to an offer her husband, former President Bill Clinton, made to then Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat when he was in office. So she's pretty much trying to dismiss the weight of everything that's going on, and she also continued, they don't know that an offer was made to Palestinians for a state on 96% of the existing territory occupied by the Palestinians, with 4% of Israel to be given to reach 100% of the amount of territory that was hoped for. So is she trying to point out that everything that is happening is as a result of the uncompliance of the Palestinians at the time when her husband was still in office? Let's find out in today's discussion.
I have had many conversations, as you have had, with a lot of young people over the last many months now. And you're right, they don't know very much at all about the history of the Middle East, or frankly about history in many areas of the world, including in our own country. But with respect to the Middle East, they don't know that under the bringing together of the Israelis and the Palestinians by my husband, the then Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, the then head of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, then the Palestinian Authority, Yasser Arafat. An offer was made to the Palestinians for a state on 96% of the existing territory occupied by the Palestinians, with 4% of Israel to be given to reach 100% of the amount of territory that was hoped for. And this offer was made, and if Yasser Arafat had accepted it, there would have been a Palestinian state now for about 24 years.
Yes, we do. It's called U.S. involvement. Like that time you got involved in Libya. Remember when Gaddafi had the Libya Central Bank and was giving out low-interest loans to all, like, African nations who needed them so that they could escape the boot of United States empire? And you advocated for having him couped. U.S. involvement, 2011. So we created a no-fly zone and supplied the rebels, and pretty quickly Gaddafi was being drugged through the streets. Yeah. He also educated all of the women in Libya. That was part of one of his, like, regime policies. So I'm just wondering why you think we didn't take high school history. I mean, I took AP history. I got a 5 on the test. I know how to read a DBQ, and that's how I can do synthesis and tell that what we're doing today is modern day colonialism. It has all of the elements of colonialism. We just call them different things so that you can get away with them. You can invest in your stock portfolios of Raytheon and Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and you can profit off of the warmongering that you do from your position of power. Hillary, that's always been the game for the last 500 years. We see it now. We see it now. We understand history. It's not more complicated than that. You don't actually have to listen to anyone who says it's more complicated than that, because they've got an agenda. They've got a conflict of interest. They want it to be more complicated than that so that they can continue to profit off of it, like you, Hillary. Yeah, so I hope everyone else takes this as an opportunity to remind Hillary of her history. Bye.
Where should they go then, Hill? Who should they listen to, if not the primary sources that are live video footage of being blown to bits? Mothers wailing in agony trapped under rubble. Should they listen to politicians who routinely lie to them and write laws that favor themselves and their corporate and lobbying donors? Who investigate themselves when accused of crimes against the American public, only to surprisingly state they've discovered that they've done nothing wrong? Should they listen to mainstream media who, not to go all tinfoil hat on you, is bought and paid for, used by the rich and powerful to sway the public into believing a chosen narrative? Should they listen to Hillary the Hawk, whose rap sheet in the Middle East is far from favoring peace, or at the very least, the interests of American citizens? The woman who said, and I quote, that Americans should get over themselves if they're not happy with the candidate options for presidency. The woman who left American citizens to die in the Middle East. Now, it would be dishonest to pretend that social media can't muddy the information that people are getting, because there are so many people posting videos, people with biases, people who are ill-intentioned, people who are well-intentioned but confused themselves. But this isn't 2001 anymore. This isn't 2012 anymore, where we'd have to wait for a sterilized press release from our oligarchs to have any insight on what's happening around the world, our involvement in it, and take it at face value. It is all at our fingertips. And though possibly muddy in the beginning, it all comes to light eventually. Now, if I were you and wanted to win people over in some way, and I know you're one to double down on whatever behavior contributed to your past losses instead of seeking to improve it, hence why your communication style with the American public hasn't changed since you lost to Trump, even though it should have, I'd pick a different strategy than whatever that was.
As you guys watch Hillary Clinton talk about TikTok as if it's the biggest propaganda machine in the world, and the fact that TikTok is spreading misinformation because it's giving people the advantage to do stuff, to know about countries and cultures as well as the government's role and everything else, let me give you a quick recap that back in 2010, there was an earthquake in Haiti that took so many people, destroyed infrastructures, stopped schools, stopped businesses. And the earthquake was so bad and we lost so many people that America was like, wow, it's time for me to act like a regular, caring neighboring country. Everyone was talking about, oh my goodness, the kids are so hungry, they're eating mud cookies, there's no food in Haiti. And so the Clintons took it upon themselves to start the Clinton Foundation. And this foundation was supposed to be a donation, right? An organization to donate to Haiti to help us thrive again. Now, don't get me wrong, the foundation made a lot of money and they promised a whole lot more to Haiti. But we can try to play a game together and figure out where the money went. Because after starting construction of one hospital in Haiti, it seems like the money disappeared. Nobody knew if the money went right or left. People think that the money didn't touch Haiti. Others think that the money went to the oligarchs. So just saying, I would never take advice or information from a bitch who regularly scams the poor. Where's the money?
I know good and well you're happy at telling everybody to stand down when the embassy over in Benghazi was getting attacked. And then you're decided to blame it on a movie that came out. Do you remember that? Because I remember that. The entire internet remembers that. Y'all don't have to believe me. Y'all can go look it up. But I don't know that I would believe anything that comes out of the mouth of the politician who's got the most schmooicidal friends out of any politician that's ever had friends that just happen to get deleted at random by themselves. Hillary. Kind of fitting you would tell people to stand down instead of save U.S. people when we've got more U.S. people out in Gaza right now and just kind of getting deleted in the middle of trying to like save people again. Yeah, kind of seems a little familiar. Typical U.S. government.
Do you know why they say politics is a dirty game? It's because of statements such as these. Something that happened years ago, like very, very long ago, can be used against you today. And that is the reason why you should be careful anytime you are indulging in political schemes. Now, the Clintons are no stranger to controversy. Remember the time of the same lady when her husband was involved in an relationship with an intern. In about 1995, the relationship lasted 18 months when this alleged intern lady was about 22 years old when the husband was 49. Now, the scandal was called the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And because of this, it led to a couple of things, including Bill's impeachment, where the House of Representatives impeached Clinton in 1998 on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice related to the affair. However, the Senate acquitted him, allowing him to complete his second term. And the other one was public perception, where the scandal tarnished Clinton's reputation and affected public trust. Many viewed his behavior as inappropriate and dishonest. Maybe that's where Trump learned to be Trump, from Bill. Nobody holds Trump accountable for his racial remarks. And do you know that Trump also has his own scandal involving an ex-worker? And if you've been paying attention, recently he had a court hearing. It was involving the same scandal about the money transfer that he transferred to her bank account from his own account after she did her job. I'm very certain he used his personal account to transfer the money because Trump wouldn't be so naive as to use the government account now, would he? I'm not really sure what he said concerning these claims because the court hearing was distracted after a certain man set himself on fire. I think you remember the discussion we've had concerning this. Now let's get back to Clinton. The scandal also diverted attention from policy matters, hindering legislative progress during his presidency. Despite the controversy, Clinton remains a prominent figure in American politics, but the scandal remains a defining aspect of his legacy. legacy. So you can see that politicians pretty much don't care about what you think about what they do when they're in office. And even though they're on the spotlight, they're pretty much protected than you and I. And it only makes us have more questions involving this Monica Lewinsky scandal because some policy matters and legislative issues were put on hold when Bill was in office. And when you compare what happened here to the Trump court hearing when the legislative issues were put on hold, it kind of makes you like be in a comparison moment here because the same thing is happening. When that man set himself on fire, the court hearing was put on hold. When Bill was still in office and because of the Monica Lewinsky scandal, certain issues were also put on hold. It makes you wonder whether this scandal was just used as a disguise or was used to divert public attention from what really was happening behind the scenes. Perhaps that's the reason why the Palestinians didn't accept Bill's offer, because they knew that it might come with some conditions attached to it that they were not ready to face. So during the 2000 Camp David summit, US President Bill Clinton and Israel Prime Minister Ehud Barak and Palestinian Authority Chairman Yasser Arafat met to negotiate an end to the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Barak offered Arafat a Palestinian state in all of Gaza and 94% of the West Bank, with East Jerusalem as its capital. However, Arafat rejected the offer, leading to the summit's failure. The disagreement over the status of Jerusalem played a crucial role in the impasse. This summit is considered one of the main triggers for the Second Intifada. And if you've been paying attention to these recent protests by the students, you remember that we discussed this term Intifada, meaning an uprising. Now, there was a statement made by Biden to put an end to the use of this term. So why did Yasser Arafat reject the offer? At the failed Camp David summit in 2000, Yasser Arafat faced a take it or leave it deal presented by US President Bill Clinton and Israel Prime Minister Ehud Barak. The deal was more favorable to Israel than Palestine. Arafat had two options: give up claims to most of East Jerusalem and forfeit the right of return for Palestinians, or reject the entire Clinton-Barak offer. He chose the latter. Arafat negotiated in miles while Barak negotiated in inches. The Palestinian people owned and operated 93% of Palestine's land in 1948, making up 92% of the citizens but 67% of the population. The offer was fundamentally imbalanced, leading to Arafat's rejection. So the offer that this woman is talking about was pretty much unfair for Palestine. They wanted Palestine to give up most of East Jerusalem. That means give up most parts of your land. We're going to control most parts of this land, but we're going to allow you to stay here peacefully with us. That pretty much means you won't have as much freedom as you used to. So they wanted them to agree to this deal, but at the same time, not allow the Palestinian refugees to return back to their homes. So Hillary is trying to tell us that this was a better deal than the Palestinians thought. She's saying that this deal was better than what is happening right now. And in her statement, she could be trying to justify what is happening with the war, because this war would have been addressed in the past, because they had a pretty much decent deal back then, but they rejected it. So would you blame Israel for what is happening right now? Well, that's what she's saying. So what were Arafat's specific concerns? Involving Jerusalem, Arafat wanted East Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine state, but the offer didn't fully address this. The deal didn't adequately address the right of Palestinian refugees to return to their pre-1948 homes. Arafat felt the land allocation was insufficient, especially in the West Bank. Israel wanted most of the land, and they wanted to give a portion to Palestine, but they would force them to agree that the Palestinian refugees, wouldn't be allowed to return back to their homes, because those homes would have been taken by Israel, as they would occupy most of the land. So Palestine disagreed to the offer because the land would be insufficient. At the time, they had a lot of citizens, and the land that Israel was offering was just too small. So they would rather continue having these conflicts until they come up with a solution later, than agree to a small portion of the land where all their citizens wouldn't fit. I just want to point out that the land of the free has also played a crucial role in the escalating of tensions between Israel and Palestine. They offer all kind of aid to Israel. Even if Israel is wrong, they're the ones that offer aid. You know, Uncle Sam right now is paying reparations to the people of Israel, even though they are not the ones that are concerned or should be concerned in the unaliving of the Israel people by Germany. They refuse to pay reparations to black people for the slavery they committed, but at the same time, they are getting their taxpayers' money and paying back reparations to the people of Israel, even if they are not responsible for anything involving Israel. Israel is a people that went and occupied a land of Palestinians, even though there are original people in that land. Help me make sense with that. But at the same time, I guess it's just palm color privilege. And Israel, well, they wanted an annex more than 10% of the West Bank, and involving the Jordan Strip River, sovereignty over parts of the strip along the Jordan River. They rejected any territorial swaps. So Hillary is just trying to dismiss all these facts in one delusional statement, saying that people are not aware of their history, as if the internet doesn't provide information about the things that she didn't put in her statement. Why did she leave out all those details? You tell me. Maybe she thinks that people are naive or something. Anyways, with that being said, we've come to the end of our discussion. Please like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.